Welcome everyone. My name is indeed Thomas Blackman. I'm Dean at Global School. My colleague, and to make it easy for you, is also called Thomas, Thomas Meijer. We work together at Global School. Thomas does our operations. So if you have any questions, please put them in the chat. He will be answering them during the session as well as I. What I've done is I've created a pre-recorded video, because then everything is in the video, and at the same time it allows me to answer your questions immediately. So please use the chat function or the Q&A function that you find in the bottom bar, so that my colleague and I can answer your questions right away. And we will also be answering after the video other questions that you can put in there. Because if there's some really good ones, then of course we will also answer them at the end of the video. We started Global School because we wanted to change entrepreneurship education in general. We believe that the only way to really learn entrepreneurship is by being an entrepreneur. And at the same time, we want you to be among entrepreneurs. So it's entrepreneurship education for entrepreneurs by entrepreneurs, and that's what we have created. We are located in the city center of Amsterdam, and we're really looking forward to see if our school is interesting to you. We offer a Bachelor in Science in Entrepreneurship and Innovation, as well as a gap year. Unfortunately, this year the gap year is full, but we of course will be offering the gap year again next year. And then we have a 90 days program. I will also be addressing that in the video. It's a shorter period in time for those of you who don't know for sure if they want to become an entrepreneur and enter the Bachelor, or if they want to do a different career role. Our Bachelor is focused on entrepreneurship as an entrepreneur, but as well as an innovator role within an existing company. However, what we see is that people choosing for Global School in Amsterdam, they are really focusing on entrepreneurship, as it's such a unique proposal to you. What you'll see is that we are a true different type of school. We have limited classroom time, a lot of mentoring, and really hands-on. So we really facilitate you becoming an entrepreneur from day one, to really establish your own business, and you're getting a lot of coaching and mentoring. But I'll be explaining that more thoroughly in the video, and after the video we will do Q&A. Now, in this video I will be addressing like answer questions down here or ask your questions down here. This is the chat functionality that I'm mentioning there. So please type in your questions there so that I can address them. I'm really happy to see a lot of people from Brazil as well. I lived there for 2.5 years, so I even speak a little bit of Portuguese, which I'm not going to try right now, but I'm really looking forward to when you join me in Amsterdam. We can really have a beer on that one and talk a little bit of my Portuguese. I lived near Campinas, and I went to an Escola Americana there, and I'm really looking forward to offering entrepreneurship education to people from Brazil, but of course also from other countries. In general, we're looking for really diverse groups, 30% Dutch, 30% European non-Dutch, and 40% of the group being international, such as yourselves. So I'm really looking forward to answering your questions with this webinar. Thank you so much, Lucian, for organizing this. And let's start the video, and we will be answering the questions during the video so that you have your answers immediately. And then after the video, there's also room for Q&A. Yeah, I will start the video now, and we will start answering your questions. My name is Thomas Blackman, and I'm Dean. We made a webinar, so this is a pre-recorded webinar, because we get a lot of requests for students and also agents worldwide to want to know more about our global school. And therefore we created this video. Let me give you an introduction of what Global School is all about, then also explain what sets us apart, what makes us special. So also the design choices we made, because You also hear from our students that global school is not a real school as you know it. And we're rather proud of that because we really decided we wanted to transform entrepreneurial education. We are creating entrepreneurship education we wish we had ourselves. And that's also what drives us to really go into the education field. We are from the education domain, but also entrepreneurs. And we think that we should transform the way entrepreneurship is being taught. For instance, we were in Portugal, Cascais, 300 startups in the room, and we asked one simple question. The question being, who of you had to learn the entrepreneurial trades after you graduated? Guess what happened? 300 hands went in the air, admitting that they had to figure entrepreneurship out themselves, even though some of them had studied entrepreneurship. Now, the problem is that a lot of entrepreneurship teaching and entrepreneurship education is done by researchers studying entrepreneurs and not by entrepreneurs themselves because either they don't know how to teach or they don't have the time to teach. And we wanted to change this because a lot of things have come to the market academic wise, so a lot of knowledge, but the capabilities, the really knowing how, is not being delivered very effectively. And that's why Timo Timmerman, Hendrik Halbe, and I, the three of us, decided to acquire an existing university and transform it into the best possible place you can go to if you want to become an entrepreneur. Now, let me introduce the team. There is Hendrik Halbe. He is founder of Get in the Ring, as well as the Erasmus Center for Entrepreneurship. Hendrik has over 10 years experience in education and is our business developer because if you have network in over 100 countries, it makes us global from day one. Now, starting a university, running a university is a really specific capability. And Timo brings that to the table. He has over 40 years of experience in education. He's founder of the Nijrode New Business School in Amsterdam, which he sold, and then founded Witteborg Amsterdam. But because we had a problem with the way we were allowed to teach and educate, the two of us left Witteborg and we started our own school where Hendrik joined us because he's also really there in the game to change the way entrepreneurship education is being delivered. So we are, the three of us, we are creating entrepreneurship education as we would have wished to have had it ourselves. So my background as being the third partner is that I have experience in teaching entrepreneurship. I started teaching entrepreneurship at the Erasmus University in Rotterdam since 2005. And I've developed my own course, a bachelor minor, that after having improved that after 6 years, I started looking for other places to teach entrepreneurship because it's a true passion. Again, I'm trying to create education I wish I had myself. And if you look at the market, and for instance, we were at an event that Hendrik Halbe hosted in Portugal with 300 startups in the room. Timo and I asked the group, well, look, who had to learn the entrepreneurial trades after you graduated? And they all raised their hands. Now that's a problem to us. We want to solve that. So that's why we joined forces. And we have a strong belief. Let me show you that the strong belief we have is that there is only one real way to learn to be an entrepreneur, and that's by being one. So in our program, we facilitate entrepreneurial students who either only have the entrepreneurial dream but no idea yet, or who already have a specific idea and who want to become an entrepreneur, or students who have already started to be an entrepreneur and have their own small little hobby shop or even existing business. We want to facilitate them to become an entrepreneur. And that's why we started Global School for Entrepreneurship, because we have a strong belief that entrepreneurship can only be taught and be learned actually by doing it yourself. Now we know that the three of us, we're guys, and we wanted also to be appealing to female entrepreneurs. And we wanted to understand how we should approach also the female part, because we want really mixed groups. We don't want to have only males in the group and then limited females or no females at all, or an entire group of females. We think that it should be combined, a mixed group. We're also looking for a group of students, 30% Dutch, 30% European non-Dutch, and then 40% international. So truly diverse teams, because that really helps you become culturally savvy as an entrepreneur and also grows your network internationally. But we are also aware that we're 3 males and we needed female power. So we asked Milou Knierheim, a Dutch young entrepreneur who has created her own ventures, who is really passionate about facilitating female entrepreneurship and the female power, to join our team to also bring that female touch to us. Let me show you who Milou is and show you her video. Here she comes.
My goal is that I want to inspire young women to follow their dreams, to become independent and happy, because I think when you follow your dreams, that's the best way to become most happy as possible. So when you become member of the Women Entrepreneur College, you get access to our knowledge network and a lot of inspiration to follow your dreams and start your own business. For example, our online community full of young starting female entrepreneurs, our monthly Women Entrepreneur Colleges full of inspiration and stories from other starting young women entrepreneurs, and coaching and guiding by me, and also access to our monthly workshops and trainings that will expand your skills on entrepreneurship.
That's quite a lot, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
And that's also available for the girls that join Global School?
Yes, yes, really. I think it's really great that there is a school like a Global School, because you don't learn really entrepreneurship on the universities or colleges that we have here in the Netherlands, because you have like minors and stuff, but that only takes 5 months of your time, and 5 months is, we all know, is way too short to start a business, because you only need 5 months to really develop your business idea and your business plan. So I think 4 years is really enough to really build a good solid business. So I will be there to facilitate and guide you with establishing your business. And I will learn you how to use your feminine power in entrepreneurship, and how we can close the gap in entrepreneurship together, because we need more female entrepreneurs.
So you see that Milou really is great, because she's really passionate about being an entrepreneur, and therefore she really fits in the team. She really wants to create entrepreneurship education like we do, that she also wished she had herself. Now we do that in the heart of the startup community. We do that in Amsterdam, in the city center. There's the knowledge mile, as they call it. There's a lot of universities there. But we didn't buy a building and fitted our school in an actual school building. No, we are in a co-working place. A co-working place where entrepreneurs rent desks, offices, meet with their clients. So it's a really vibe, the entrepreneurial vibe in a co-working space. And that's where our school's at. So our school is based within the heart of the entrepreneurial community. We strongly believe that if you want to learn how to be an entrepreneur, you need to open up the education system. A lot of educators have a closed system, meaning there's not a lot of connection and influence from the market into the school. They try to fix this, repair this with internships and minors, some guest lectures, but that's about it. We thought, no, we need to open it up and we need to be part of the real world. We needed to create our education in collaboration with the entrepreneurs and in the actual ecosystem. And that's what we did. Besides that, we also have Get in the Ring, which is active in over 100 countries. Countries where there is now an ecosystem of investors, governments, but also a lot of startups.
And from that experience, we also know what startups need to be facilitated to be effective. Now, our school is placed in this co-working space, which is part of the student hotel. And the student hotel is a concept that is a hotel with co-working places, with auditoriums, with classrooms, with everything in it. And they are opening, well, they are growing too because they're also entrepreneurial. They started off with an ambition of opening 33, and they have now raised that even further. But these are some dots on the map only in Europe that they are aiming to open. And there are even dots missing. This is an old map I got from them initially, but for instance, in Dresden, Germany, they already have opened a hotel and it's not on this map. But just to give you an impression on how many hotels we're talking about here, that's where this map suits. And if you look at the map, you see that there's quite a lot in the Netherlands alone, a small country, but that's where they started because that's how they got the idea. Let me show you a video from the founder explaining what the student hotel is all about. Because on the one hand, it offers us housing for us international students. By the way, it's not mandatory to get your housing there, but I know from my experience with Erasmus that if you have international students, housing in cities, especially such as Amsterdam, is horrific. It's so difficult to get good rooms and safe housing that we started to organize that with our partnership with the student hotel. So we are in the student hotel and we have benefiting from the ecosystem with the entrepreneurs as well as the housing solution for international students. So because we are partner of the student hotel, we have a limited amount of rooms reserved for our students. So if you are an international student and you want to study at Global School, let us know as soon as possible, because then we can reserve your room and then you don't have any housing issues. Students coming from the Netherlands, they can choose to travel because in the Netherlands, our travel system, the railway, the metro, by car, the highways, it's pretty good and well organized. So you could also choose not to stay in the student hotel, save money, and live outside of the city. And we will be able to facilitate in the search as well, but it's your personal responsibility. We have partnered up with the student hotel so that if you want housing and you let us know upfront and in a timely fashion, then we already have rooms reserved for you. And let me show you a video to give you an impression of what the student hotel is all about.
I've been involved in student accommodation for a long time. We didn't know we were going to be a hotel. It wasn't really the master plan. But what I knew I wanted to do was to build good quality accommodation with shared common facilities and very extensive ground floors where really people could come to meet together. When we realized that we were going to be a hotel, the first thing that popped into our minds is we could offer rooms to mums and dads. What I really love about it is how well it's worked. I think it's really been a surprise to everybody how much the older guests have really been inspired by the atmosphere that the students, our sacred customer, they bring to the building. They're here with one purpose, to do their first year of education. And we really make sure that the students have all the facilities here to make the best friends for the rest of their lives. The hotel guests pick up on the atmosphere that the students create. The two different energies just kind of meet and it works. It works really well. We wanted to do it better than what was being done. We wanted to serve our core customers, the students, better than they were being served. We wanted to bring parents into their experience. We wanted to bring different communities all together in one building. When we design our buildings, the first thing we do is we draw a heart on the architect's plans, and we say, where's the heart of the building? Where does everybody come in a really natural way, and they meet each other, they connect with each other. We're really focusing on a connected community. It's like a complete connected community that we're building. That keeps on getting added to by new customers. When I started the student hotel, I couldn't have dreamt that we would be here with 9 hotels open, 9 hotels being built and under construction across different countries in Europe. I'm super lucky to have got where we've got to. The team that we have around us and have built up is just absolutely incredible. We have big plans for the future. In the next 5 or 6 years, we'd like to expand to about 35 locations across Europe. If we're lucky and we have a good wind behind us and all our dreams come true, it'd be super nice to be able to expand the brand on an international basis and try and rekindle or help the student spirit and people stay alive for as long as possible. If we can have a positive role in that process of understanding and learning how other cultures work, then hopefully we can make a little contribution to world peace.
So it's such a cool environment, and what you see is that all our facilities are there. We have the auditorium, we have the classrooms, we have all these facilities that allow us to be a school within this high class and high comfort housing. But yet again, it's not mandatory. If you have any questions, by the way, down here, you can write your comments. And you can ask us questions, and Thomas Meyer will answer them, or I will answer them. Just let us know, because it is a pre-recorded webinar. But if you send us an email with using the form underneath, and you let us know what you want to know, then we get into contact. You can also, down here, make a Calendly appointment, and then we can do an online personal talk, or meet you in Amsterdam, depending what's possible. Now, if you look at the student hotel and what it offers us the opportunity to use their infrastructure of housing to grow our school and offer you also the opportunity to travel over Europe. If you look at what's possible, you can go to any city, if it's Florence or Paris or Lisbon or Berlin or Barcelona, Amsterdam. Where would you like to live? Our idea is to start in Amsterdam, and from there offer you education that you're looking for. So the question is, who are you? What are you looking for? Our education is designed for 4 groups of entrepreneurs, starting with the self-made entrepreneur, the social entrepreneur, the family business successor, and the intrapreneur, the corporate entrepreneur. They all have in common meaningful value creation. We offer you a Bachelor in Science in Entrepreneurship and Innovation, but that comes together in meaningful value creation. On the one hand, we get a lot of entrepreneurs now, but there is also an entrepreneur now entering who wants to do a project within an existing company, but he wants our help, because what we actually do is we offer an incubator service, a place where you get guided in becoming an entrepreneur and how to grow your business. And on the other hand, we facilitate you with modules that help you to get the bachelor degree at the end as well. And the modules are also set in place that they follow your growth of your business, so that the modules that we're offering you are actually relevant. This is, I think, the biggest advantage. There's a lot of people that need to go to school and do things at school that they do for the sake of school. But they don't do that because it's relevant to them. We've put a lot of effort and time in designing our program to facilitate you as an entrepreneur, so that our modules are aligned with the growing process of the startup of your personal business. So what we do see is that a lot of people entering global schools, such as Jelle, let me show you. This is Jelle, and Jelle can explain why he's at global school.
Yeah, I have a great passion for health and diet sort of thing. So when I developed the drink, I still had no idea how to put it on the market. So that's really the reason why I'm here.
What does the global school offer you when you want to get your drink to the market?
It offers me a lot of contacts and all the know-how in how to start my own business. So that's really great for me, because I had no idea how to do this. Like putting something on the market that can be really abstract if you have no know-how. And this is exactly the answer to my how do I do that. It's definitely different from what I'm used to. It's very open and very close contact. So people are really involved in what you're doing, and I think that's really great. That's the reason the vibe feels really trusty. So I really like that.
Okay.
Like you get the feeling that people are really, really trying hard to help you develop your own business.
So you actually found like-minded people?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Is that what makes the group of students different?
Definitely. It's totally different from what I'm used to. You really feel a connection there. And that's really awesome.
Do you learn a lot from each other also?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. What do you think is the biggest value of global school to you as an individual?
I really think the personal aid. You come here with a dream, and they really, really help you to create it, to build your own business, and that's awesome.
But there are many people building their own startup, and it's in different industries. There is no limitation to in which industry you would want to become an entrepreneur. It's just there. So if you're in gaming, we have a gamer who wants to become more entrepreneurial, yet remain the excellent artist, game developer that he is. Jelle, for instance, wants to bring a new beverages type of category to the market. There are food tours. There's people wanting to create a fashion brand, mural art, electrical scooters, bed sheets, whatever item. And it also differs in time. People come in to global school sometimes with already an existing idea, others with not an idea at all, and some with a running business. But we facilitate them to further explore and come up with better ideas, or maybe improve their existing ideas. And because of our network, no ambition is too big. We have a corporate network, for instance, of a company that is the world's biggest bottler. And for Jelle, for instance, he wants to bring a drink to the market. Now we will connect Jelle to the bottler, and he will get help from the bottler, really accelerating his idea. And if he does really well, we can even connect him to a shipping company that we are also facilitating. So there's a huge corporate network, and there's investors to back him. So the biggest ambitions can be facilitated. Now, it's not that we only want to facilitate the big and genius entrepreneurs, but it's just proving you that if you think big, dream big, we will help you make it really practical in the here and the now. Start small, and then we have 4 years to grow your business. And if you on the way change from idea or concept, fine with us. We're at the end of the day a school, an education. So there's nothing forcing you. We're not investing and keeping you to your initial idea. We are there to maximize your growth potential and to really unleash what you have inside. And Paul, maybe from Paris, is maybe great to look at now. Paul can explain how we combine all these different businesses with our modules. You started at Global School just recently.
Yes.
What made you decide to join Global School?
I was looking at kind of a alternative to former proper education. I mean regular, where you learn and you don't do anything with what you learn until you're done with your studies, and then you go and find a job. I wanted to work on my own projects and my own companies. So that's why I choose. I mean, I was interested in this kind of education. Then I found out about the Global School. We had a nice meeting, and I decided to join.
Okay, cool. What are you trying to build as an entrepreneur?
So right now, I have a sneaker marketplace where you can buy and sell high-end sneakers. That's what I'm focusing on right now. It's called Sneakmart, so it's SNEAKMART.fr. It's a French version of the website right now, but we're going to switch.
What are you hoping to get from Global School?
Practical knowledge, I would say, and like actually doing the thing and learning things about business that I can apply directly to it. Like we have classes, then the class is done, and I can apply it to my own business and like make it work. Like have a proper return investment on the knowledge I have on the classes, I would say.
Are you getting value for your own entrepreneurship from the classes you're currently following?
I would say so. I mean, otherwise I wouldn't be here, obviously. But like the very good thing about it is that you have like one-on-one coaching session and a workshop, and you also have friends that are like you. Usually it's pretty rare to find people that are working on their own business when you are 19, 20, 21. Usually you are surrounded with people that are like only partying and not actually working. So that's what I find very valuable about it. And everyone goes in the same direction and have the same focus and same goals. So that's what I find the most valuable.
Yeah, are they all working on similar types of businesses?
No, it's pretty like various. Like I don't know how to say. It's pretty. I don't know how to say it, but
There are many different.
there are many different businesses. One of Victor is working on a game. Charlotte is working more on a clothing lingerie brand, and we're all working on different projects. But obviously, the classes, they have the entrepreneurial. They are on entrepreneurial skills that we have to master, so they apply to every kind of business.
So you see that regardless of industry, our modules facilitate the process of value creation. A lot of knowledge, and I said it before, has come to the market, so there's no need to leave it up to hope, instinct, or chance. Entrepreneurship can be learned, and the methodology of entrepreneurship can be learned. And we are in it to really bring entrepreneurial education we wish we had to the market. And the only way to do that is by being an entrepreneur. So we facilitate students, and we really want to make education relevant. Now, if you look, for instance, at one of our students, Alessandro, he's now creating his own brand, a new brand, Alipatas. He started off with a hobby, trading shoes by entering raffles, so that he that he's able to buy this limited edition shoes. And then he would trade them online, and when he would have made money with these trades, he would have money for a ticket to go to his girlfriend in the States. But what I'm really proud of is that at Christmas, he asked his parents for this photo box. You can see in the picture where his shoes are in, to improve the quality of the pictures for his website. So what we are doing is we are guiding Alessandro to grow his hobby into an actual business. Now, he has had multiple ideas on how that could happen. We have coached him in that. He has gone out and validated if his ideas were any good. And he's now slowly building his dream, coming from his hobby, but now turning it into an actual business. And the same can be said for Kenneth. Kenneth is one of our students that proves that we have this big network, because he wanted to start a fashion brand. Now, to be honest, I don't know a lot about fashion. I have a taste, and that's about it. But in the fashion industry, you can make a lot of mistakes. You can make the wrong contracts, you can get to the wrong people, you can get the wrong materials. There's so much you can do wrong that we connected Kenneth to a fashion coach, Jessica. And Jessica has built her own brands before. She's well known in the industry, and she knows where she can make the mistakes. She's made the mistakes and learned from them. And she loves helping us out with students like Kenneth. This is Kenneth, and she's there to help Kenneth out. So she took Kenneth with her to Portugal to a trade show, and she taught him the ropes of getting the right fabrics, getting in touch with the right producers, to choose the right materials. And now Kenneth can really create his dream, because he's now in contact with one of the producers that actually produces for Versace. And if you listen to Kenneth, you understand why that's relevant.
Yeah, it's been one hell of a ride. Studying here and also starting my own business. And yeah, a couple days ago, I was in Portugal for a fashion show slash a trade show, and we went there to meet a lot of manufacturers and designers for like making our stuff and making our fabric for us. And I went with Jessica Joyce, who is also my fashion coach, and I went with her, and it was amazing. Yeah.
It was a great hotel, right? Great ambience.
It was superb. Yeah, it was good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you went to Portugal to really get your dream created, right?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. What's your dream?
To be the greatest designer of all time, the biggest brand, the likes of the Versace and Louis Vuitton.
Yeah, so we are talking to the new...
I am the new one. The new one.
Cool. Yeah. And when you entered a global school, if we go back to that period, that was completely different, right? It really opened up.
Yeah, it really opened up. I was a little bit closed, and I was still trying to discover. I knew what I wanted to do, but I needed like sort of like a path and like a structure to get there, and this place gave me that. So, yeah.
Because you came, I won't mention the school, but you came from a different university.
Yeah,
no, you don't have to call them. But how were you treated there? What did you experience?
Like a normal school. You go to school, you go to class, and then after the class you go home. It's just like a normal school, you know.
What makes it? So this is not a school?
This is. I don't know what this is. I don't know if I should call this a school or a place where you come and develop yourself. This is so different. I think we should all sit down and try to create like a title for this place. Like, I don't even know what to call it. Yeah.
When we have the evenings, the open evenings, I have the task as dean to explain what people are getting themselves into. I find that really difficult. Because often it comes across as too commercial, and really salesy. Yeah. But I cannot do it well. How would you explain what global school is?
To be honest, I don't know. I don't know how to. Yeah.
What is it meant?
It's sort of like a platform where you. Sort of like a platform where someone who want to do something great goes to and become great. And that's how I see this place. Okay. I don't know if the other guys see it like this, because to me it's more personal. And this is how I see it. Yeah. But you have to have this thing within you that you want to bring out, and then you go to this place and they give you sort of like a structure to bring it out and show the world what you have and what you can do and what you can create. Changing the world and doing big things.
So that's Kenneth, and we're really proud of Kenneth. He might come across as a bit arrogant, but which fashion designer isn't? And he's not playing a role. When he entered global school, he was not that self-confident. But because he's now really setting steps, let me show you. Because for instance, his shoot, he actually did a photo shoot with his models. He designed clothings, got them produced. He's now in a film studio shooting footage for his website. He has launched his website. He's now doing a Kickstarter campaign. Like he said in the video with Jessica Jones, he went to Portugal. These are some pictures that he sent us. And he's living his dream. He's creating his entrepreneurial venture that he was looking for. But in a regular university, you don't get to do this. You get a minor for a few months or a half a year at most. You get an internship at a startup, but But this is 4 year focused on being an entrepreneur and getting facilitated to build your dream. And it is an actual, coming from a profile and everything, it's an accredited program. You get the Bachelor in Science at the end. We created a tomorrow's entrepreneur profile. Why? Because we think that yesterday's entrepreneur are like the entrepreneurs we met in Cascais in Portugal, who answered that they had to learn everything themselves after they graduated. Tomorrow's entrepreneur is an educated entrepreneur. It's an entrepreneur who's gone to the studies to become an entrepreneur. We have the ambition to become the place to be when you take entrepreneurship serious and you want to become an entrepreneur and you want to learn from actual entrepreneurs who have made their portion of mistakes before. And it's not fail free. You will fail, but it's not failure, it's learning. And that's what we are facilitating. Now let's look at the profile once more. We have tomorrow's entrepreneur, and you see in the inner circle, you see grit on the top left. Now grit is a personal competency. It comes from Angela Duckworth from Stanford, and she has done research to what makes people successful. And what she's shown us is that it's not talent, it's not IQ, so intelligence. No, it's perseverance, it's adaptability, it's being a gritty individual. So in our model, there's this personal effectiveness, personal competencies, and that's what we train. We train people to have an entrepreneurial mindset, a mindset that goes, that you believe that you can actually create it, self-esteem, that you can go and persevere, that you will persevere when you have an idea, and that you will validate it. That's the methodological part. That's the top right. So the methodology competencies. Competencies that will teach you how to validate your assumption, how to further build your opportunity. So discover. Then the bottom right, relevance, that's all about interpersonal competencies. We believe that entrepreneurs can only be successful if they're able to become relevant to others. That's true in an entrepreneurial situation, but also in leadership. And if you become successful as a founder, you will have to grow your team and you will have to be able to lead. So in our course, there's also leadership and culture creation of a startup. So there is this module called hiring and firing. Hopefully it's only hiring, but you also need to know what the consequences are if you hire someone if it doesn't work out. So also attention is spent on firing. How do I do this without harming my brand? How do I do this without harming the individual? So how can I grow and keep my culture, that you don't create a culture of fear in your company, but that you keep it positive and entrepreneurial and you keep the vibe going, and at the same time professionalize and deliver on your promises. So let's go back to the model, because we have one left on the bottom left, and that's execution. Because having the right mindset, being able to discover opportunities by creating value and relevance is only valuable if you can actually deliver and create it and build it and grow it. So the execution angle to us is also really, really important. And that's where the specialist competencies come into play. So we have this model that we apply, and that's the foundation of our program. Now the core here is to become comfortable with being uncomfortable, because one thing we know is that in the world, more and more change will happen. It will become more dynamic even further than we can imagine today. So as an entrepreneur, as a future professional, if you choose to become a self-employed entrepreneur or work in an existing company because you're going for the corporate dream, that's fine with us, because it's all about value creation. But you need the mindset to be comfortable with all this change going on, and you need to be comfortable with being uncomfortable. I think we take that really serious. That's also why, if you look at my background, I started in leadership and executive development in 2005. And we always had groups where we had people that were with the group, and then they would invite guest speakers to train them with content, and then the trainers that were with the group would actually assure for learning adoption. They would make sure that people would develop themselves. And they would recognize from module to module if you would make the same mistake or not. Now, my problem with the average education, even at the biggest universities, you go from professor to professor to professor, and nobody recognizes you making the same mistake. So we introduce in our concept the learning coach. Now, the learning coach is the person who is with the group, with a team of students no bigger than 25 to 30, and they coach them and mentor them individually. At the same time, we are a university of applied science, so we have academic knowledge offered by the subject experts. And because we want to focus really on application, we have field experts. Field experts are, in general, consultants, experts in their topic, and doing that in a day-to-day basis with their clients. So for instance, we have a growth hacking company, Bamboo, in Amsterdam, that helps us teach growth hacking to students. The day that they find out that they can do something better, they will apply it immediately in the way they teach. Because a consultant is just as good as their last experience, as their last job. So they need to continuously innovate themselves. And because we work with those guys, they will innovate and bring you the latest from the field. So there is no time loss between their class and what they have learned as consultants in the market. Now compare that to any school. The fact that they teach from a book means that someone had to learn something, optimize it, sit down, write a book about it, get it published, get it to the market, become better known, and then they will adopt it into the program after they've changed it. This is time. This is postponing innovation of the way you work. We have consultants getting the best parts of the best books or bringing their own knowledge to the group. So they are speeding up and saving a lot of time in innovating our modules. If they think that they should work with the latest update of a model, then they should, and they do. So therefore, our students get the latest from the field. And I think that I'm really proud of that. At the same time, I think that our biggest influence is made by the learning coach. The learning coach who really sits down one-on-one or in peer sessions with the students and really looks at the individual student and sees what their theme is, what they could do to really develop that individual student. Take, for instance, as an example, Victor. And now Victor, this is Victor. Victor is a self-educated game developer, and he makes awesome games, but he loses himself in the process. Victor has been self-educating him since he was 13. He's now 19, and he has self-taught himself how to develop games. And we are coaching Victor now completely in a different direction than some of the other students, because Victor has the thing that once he starts programming, he loses himself in the process and he goes way over the edge. So we try to coach him on being able to hit the gas, but at the same time also brake every now and then. And this is what this talk's all about. Listen to Victor. Here comes Victor. Victor, you joined Global School?
Yeah.
Why?
Because I kind of wanted to go to school. I kind of wanted to go and get a bachelor degree. I just didn't exactly want to go back to school. So like I wanted the bachelor. I didn't want to do proper school with like colleges and having to do tests and having to extensively worrying about
oh God, I need to do this for the sake of school. And GS3 looks like a school that, well, you do things because there's a reason to do them rather than just you're doing it for the sake of school. And it's in a way that it's actually effective at facilitating you in what you want to do instead of just, we don't care that it doesn't work for you, you're going to do it anyway, which I really hated in school, and I really love that freedom.
Okay, cool. And is it working out for you so far?
So far, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I'm at times a bit aimless because of it, because it's very different and it takes getting used to. Because like there is guidance now, but not guidance in the way that I've had guidance in the past. So it's a bit of a switch.
What's the positive part of the new form of guidance?
Well, that there is guidance, that I'm not just kind of plodding along doing my own thing without any external input. So I don't get stuck in my own cycle as much. The counter side to that is that basically what's great is that I have guidance and I get pulled out of my own loop, but I'm not forced out of it. It's not like you have to do this now or you're doing it wrong, so we're going to interfere. It's just kind of poking like, hey, you sure you want to do it like this? So I'm doing my own thing, but I'm being sort of guided instead of guiding, which is more directing.
Yeah. Okay, so you're challenged.
Yeah.
Do you want to share something about your challenge? What are you being challenged at?
Well, one thing for me that I'm working on, we just had vacation and it came up again for me. I decided I wasn't going to work this vacation. I've always worked my ass off and I always feel like I have to be productive and stuff. In this vacation, I was like, I'm not going to do anything. And by the end of the vacation, I was really like, oh, I haven't done anything, I haven't been productive, and I felt really bad about it. But I still didn't do anything, which is a stupid thing to say, but I'm kind of proud of that. And it's like, that's not something I realized myself. And it's when I got here and I saw like the rest of the world doing their thing that I was like, huh. Maybe I need to reevaluate the way I'm doing things.
Cool. What And you're also being challenged as the artist and the entrepreneur.
Yeah. Oh, lovely.
What's that about?
So words. What that's about is like the idea is that every person has two sides, or well, there's obviously more than two sides, but for the sake of entrepreneurship and the example, two sides. And it's like you've got the entrepreneur, and it's just the business brain. How am I going to make this work? How am I going to make money? Is there an opportunity here that I can take? And then there's the artist, which is just, oh, I've got this fun idea and I want to do it. And I very strongly do the artist thing myself. I just go, oh, I came up with this and I want to do it. And then the entrepreneurship kind of falls behind. So I go, there is some degree of awareness that I need to make money. And then I'm like, okay, so how am I going to get this to the market effectively? But it doesn't end up happening that efficiently because I really prefer the artist side. So I just want to work on my ideas and not worry about the rest.
Yeah.
And that's something that, you know, if you want to run a proper business, you need to also do the sales side rather than just, I'm doing this thing I like. So
it's actually getting away with being the artist, right?
Yeah, that's the idea. It's not necessarily I have to be really great at running businesses and I have to be this ingenious entrepreneur. It's more, how can I learn to be a good entrepreneur so that I have to do as little entrepreneurship as possible so that I can do as much artistry as possible. Which sounds really counterintuitive, but that's kind of the idea here.
Great, thanks so much.
Can I take it off?
So by now you get the idea. We are really focusing on getting the entrepreneurship education to the level that we wish we would have them ourselves. We are offering entrepreneurship education that we wish we had ourselves, and we're doing that through a broad range of faculty that are top-notch. Yes, we might be a rather new university, but we are in the game for, well, combined for over 60 years. That's the calculation of 40 years of Timo, 10 of mine, now even getting to 15, and also Hendrik. Also, I think I introduced him with 10, but that's also a higher amount. But so you see that we are entrepreneurs and experienced in education, and we bring those things together, and that's what we're proud of. We are creating entrepreneurship education we wish we had ourselves. Now you might be wondering by now, what does a normal week look like? How do you educate if they don't call it a normal school? Well, let me show you what that looks like. For instance, by the way, all our modules are 5 weeks, and in week 1, we get field experts lectures, subject expert lectures, where they introduce the topic of the module. And then you get to do some self-reflection, and you'll get a task to do in the rest of the week, and you'll be mentored. So on Tuesday morning, for instance, we have this field expert, a subject expert coming in. So they give this lecture, they give the workshop, and they give you a task to do and have ready in week 2. And on Thursday, you have a formal meeting to get mentored, but along the way, you're also mentored. So you have this task on Tuesday, and then you are mentored on Thursday. And during the week, you also get to spend time on growing your own business, and you get your personal mentoring on your business, which we call incubator time. But at the same time, you work either in a team or by yourself on the tasks that are connected to the module. Now, in week 2, you get more insights, and then you get to do an independent study of the subject. For instance, if you look at trend watching, you get to find trends that are relevant for your own idea. And then you get to research the market on what the trends are that you can find. On Thursday, you get help if you can't find anything, or if you have questions. And then on Tuesday, you present what you have found. And then there is also individual work on an assignment. And then you find something to apply it to your business, and then you write a report about it after you've done some field research, and you hand in an assignment in week 5. Now, in general, this is how our classes are built up, but that differs. Agile working is more hands-on, which you get shorter periods in time in the classroom, but more often. And then there's workshops that you spend an entire morning on, and then you get mentored in an hour session with peer-to-peer later in the week. So it differs, but it's all hands-on. It's workshop type. It's not teaching what's on the PowerPoint slide so that you can remember to do the theoretical exam. That's not what we're doing. We are building capabilities, and like I said in the beginning, and I can't stress that enough, is that it's all about learning how to be entrepreneurial by being entrepreneurial. And that's what we do. Now, that means that we are looking for students who are self-starters and who really want to achieve something, who have a dream that they would want to create. Listen, for instance, to Koen, who I asked the question, who should join Global School?
People should attend Global School of Entrepreneurship when you definitely want to start your own business and when you are really highly motivated.
Who shouldn't attend Global School?
When you shouldn't, when you're fucking lazy.
So you see that, we put everything in place. We have entrepreneurial teachers because we find it strange that entrepreneurship is taught by non-entrepreneurs. There we have the students study and work in these startup hubs. It can be facilitated globally. We start in Amsterdam, but then we use the student hotel network. There's no memory testing exams, but what we do is we test application every 5 weeks and with an assessment. And through that, you get the study points. And then after 4 years, you don't only have a running business, but you also get a Bachelor in Science in Entrepreneurship and Innovation. Now, there is also access to our ecosystem in over 100 countries. You're facilitated in small groups with groups of people that are really like-minded. We work with students who all have this passionate dream, they're self-starters, so it's a completely different group of students than you might be accustomed to. They don't go there just to listen in and I have to go to school so that I can pass the test. No, they're there. They want to learn. They want to know how they can create their business. They want to learn how they can do it effectively and how they can get to sales fast so that they make revenue. We have students that get the revenue within 3 months to a level that they earn back the tuition fee. Our tuition fee is 13,500 euros per year, which is quite a lot of money. But if you compare it to other universities that don't allow you to make your own money, they cost 20,000 euros a year or 18,000 euros a year. And I'm not comparing it to the United States, I'm only comparing it to the universities, the private universities in the Netherlands. We decided to go as low as we possibly could because we want to have it open to as many students as we can facilitate. If you are from the Netherlands, then you can ask for financing of the studies, and Duo allows you to finance our program. If you're an international student, then you have to find ways to finance it either by your parents or from your own country, and knowing that you can have the opportunity to earn back the tuition fee and really see it as an investment into starting your own business. Now let's go back to the list. So you have access to our ecosystem in over 100 countries, you learn in small groups, and you get to create your startup and get your bachelor degree with a maximized personal touch. I hope that really comes across because that's what we're all about. If you've listened to Victor, if you've listened to Jelle, to all the other students that I've already shared in this webinar, these were, by the way, videos that we didn't script at all. We just put the camera in their face, it's in the same room, and just ask them, okay, what did you think about Global School? How are you experiencing Global School so far? But they're just really happy. They've come to a place where, like Kenneth said, it's not a school, it's a platform. And the platform analogy here is what is on this slide. This is why Kenneth calls it a platform. You get access to our ecosystem. And that's, I think, the most valuable part. It's the faculty that make your experience. It's the students themselves. If you look at Griffin, one of our students was challenged by Tijn, one of our other students. They said, well, I hear you talk a lot about wanting to hire people. Why don't you do it? And I coached him on the leadership so that he could. But by hiring someone, he could make more revenue. And he did. He earned back the tuition fee within 3 months. But that's Griffin. And the question is, will you also seize these opportunities? Will you also grow your business? Or will you spend your time in the city, in Amsterdam? I hope not, and we will mentor you, and we will guide you, and we will challenge you. Like, for instance, Victor said, we will poke you. We will poke you to make sure that you are focusing on your studies and balance it with your entrepreneurship, your startup. It's not just doing your startup, because it's a bachelor program, but it's an excellent combination between doing your own startup and getting facilitated with all the faculty that are there, the entrepreneurs in our network, the businesses that we can connect you to. That's what we're offering, and that's what makes us different. So if you're ready for that, then enter our bachelor program. If you are not sure that you want to commit yourself to our bachelor program for 4 years, you might want to choose a gap year. In this gap year over Europe, you get to visit of course, Amsterdam, but also Paris, Berlin, and Florence. And all these 4 cities have a different topic, but they're all focused on getting you the answer to, do I have what it takes to be an entrepreneur? That's the topic of our gap year. So in Amsterdam, you're facilitated how to create your startup. You'll actually work on your startup. And then you have, for instance, Paris, where you are taught the creative side of being an entrepreneur, the visualization of a brand, but also the brand story, that type of thing. In Berlin, you're facilitated on how to build a startup more on the phase of e-commerce, digital marketing. And in Florence is all about the individual. Who are you? What do you want in life? So that you come back after the gap year with a solid idea of, do I have what it takes to be an entrepreneur? And that's what I'm really proud of our gap year. It's completely different to other gap years. Of course, there's time to visit the city, have fun, and grow your experience there and build network. At the same time, it's a program that gives you really insights and helps you understand entrepreneurship and what it will take. Now, a lot of people drop out of education during the year, and they want to have, they don't want to waste their time. And for those people, we offer our Entrepreneur in 90 Days, where we facilitate you in creating your business. Both programs, to be honest, are entry steps into our Bachelor in Science. So we hope that we can really facilitate you and become the entrepreneur. Now, I hope that one of these 3 programs are interesting for you. And if that's the case, then please, underneath, make our Calendly appointment, talk to us, and we can help you out and tell you more about our program. For instance, if you want to know more about our 90 days, it's 3 courses, 3 modules, agile working, effectuation, and digital marketing. And at the same time, the incubator time is there. So underneath these modules, you also have on a weekly basis coaching in getting your personal business going. And then you have the modules that learn you, for instance, how to do value creation in an agile working manner. Effectuation, it's the mindset of the entrepreneur. And then digital marketing is, how do I get to my first sales? In this program, it's our goal to get you to actual revenue within these 90 days. And it can be done. So if you want to spend your 90 days purposeful and really figure out if you have what it takes to be an entrepreneur and start creating revenue, then enter our 90-day program, because then you can also make money so that you can enter the Bachelor, because then you will have the money made to enter. Now, there's of course the Bachelor. Now, the Bachelor is a 4-year program full of modules with topics that are really compelling to the entrepreneurs. Year 1 is all about orientation, to get introduced to as many industries as possible. So you see that there is the blockchain, the collaboration challenge, the innovation challenge, modules that in which you apply entrepreneurial methods, but you get introduced to a lot of different industries so that you can determine which industry you would want to be in. And for instance, if you look at our innovation challenge, we have companies coming in, representatives of these companies, with a challenge that the students work on in teams. But we ask the students which industries they're interested in to determine which company we will invite, so that you are working on a case and at the same time get a really rapid insight in what that industry, that business type is all about. And that's why we have these types of modules in year 1. Now, if you look at year 2, it's concept creation. We start with trend or effectuation, the mindset, but also trend watching. By the way, you see here with effectuation and agile working that there are modules from the Bachelor. So if you do our 90 days program, you don't get Bachelor points, credits, but if you finish that and then enter our Bachelor, our exam commission will give you these points and will recognize the ECTSs, the European credits, so that you don't have to do those modules in the Bachelor. So you're actually starting the Bachelor 90 days early. So that's, I think, an amazing thing. Now, in the second year, you have all these modules, value creation, lean startup, business modeling, and then in year 3, you go on with lean pricing. growth hacking. So it's really building and growing your business. And alongside, you have modules like preventing legal mistakes once you are doing contracts. But also disrupting the market and building the next Uber is a lot of students now want to create platform businesses. And in these two modules, you really help to understand what makes starting Airbnb so difficult. Why are they loved and hated at the same time? And how do you actually program this? So we are using actual tools, and entrepreneurs give you feedback on your concept. Entrepreneurs who have created a platform business themselves. So all these modules are offered, remember the 3 roles, by field experts, and they are helped with academic experts, and the learning coach is always there. So with these 3 roles, we facilitate you with modules to create your best possible business, and that's done in the incubator. So our modules and the incubator time, it's difficult sometimes to recognize what was school and what was the incubator. And that's our goal, to have a blended education between incubator time and the modules that we are teaching. Now, if you look at the rest of the program, there's leadership in there. For instance, at year 2, not the last one, but the one before that, the art of leadership. Then you have the apprentice assessment. That's all about how do I lead my team. And then you have hiring and firing, but also future proofing. And then how do I create my team? How do I develop my business? That's also offered. So there's leadership in there, there's culture, also statistics, math, the artificial intelligence module, data crunching and machine learning, but you work on your own data. I think that statistics is not a very interesting topic. It's boring, it's difficult, but it becomes relevant if you work with your own growth hacking data that you have retrieved from the market, that you and then structuring that, cleaning that, visualizing that, analyzing that to get to information. Then you are interested to see how much information can I get from the questions that I've asked, the data that I've gotten from the market, and how can I then translate that into making better decisions. That's a completely different way to work with statistics than the more general universities do it. So if you look at this 4-year program, we have aligned the modules to grow with you in your growing process. So it starts with orientation, it moves into concept development, then into the growing of your business, and then the scaling of your business. It doesn't end with a thesis, but with an aptitude test. An aptitude test in which you prove that you are capable in value creation. So that's why we are focusing on an aptitude test and not a thesis. We are not creating and developing theory. We are developing capabilities. We want you to be effective.
I think that we lost the microphone. Thomas?
Thank you. Thanks for pointing that out. Thanks for listening to the video. I'm really looking forward to answering questions. So if you type them in the chat, we've been really busy answering all the questions that were offered and addressed to us. I hope you enjoyed the video. There was quite a lot of information. Some even asked for a recap. That's going to be a little bit much, but if you ask specific questions in the chat, then we can answer these as thoroughly as possible.
Thank you very much to both Thomas. I think it's been a very productive session. A lot of very interesting questions from the various topics, from costs to the word of entrepreneurship. So guys, we still have a few minutes to go. If you have questions, let us know. If not, please take note of the link that Thomas shared with us to schedule a personal video call with Global School for Entrepreneurship. And And remember that you will receive an email with all this information in the following days. So let us know. Just type in the questions in the chat or the questions and answers section. And meanwhile, we received a WhatsApp text from Marcos. He says that he really enjoyed the presentation and that the university seems very well structured. So he thanked us. And I'll leave the floor to Thomas, Thomas Meyer, if you'd like to add anything from the questions that you have quickly answered during the webinar.
Well, maybe a little recap on the questions that we answered. A lot of the questions were about the tuition fee, which we also showed in the slide deck, which is for the bachelor 13,500. We are aware that this is a substantial amount of money. Mind you, from day one, our students are offered the opportunity, regardless from the country of her origin, to become an entrepreneur and establish their own business. In the Netherlands, it's allowed to have your own business from day one, and we are facilitating that. So if you, for instance, have parents with a family business that want to get a foothold in Europe, or if you want to start your own company in Europe, that's absolutely possible. A lot of the businesses that we see with our students are actually digital businesses, so they can start that in Amsterdam, then during the program travel over Europe, or when they stay in Amsterdam after that turn back home, but still take the business with them without any problems because it's a digital business. So what you see is that the tuition fee is 13,500. It's actually cheaper than most of our competitors because they offer scholarships of 6,000 to 7,000 euros, but they start at 21,000. So therefore, we thought we were not offering scholarships, but we are opening the university to anyone for 13,500. I see a question coming in from Francesco. Do you need to have a business idea to join the bachelor program? We have different students entering our program. Some already have a small little business. Some have a hobby that they make money with, and some come in without any ideas yet. This is fine. The whole idea of our program is that it's a 4-year incubator program where you develop, you generate your ideas, you then validate which ideas are the better ones, and you further build upon that. You also change ideas along the way, so everything's possible. The only thing you need to bring is an ambition, because we're really looking for self-starters, for students who really want to become an entrepreneur or really want to learn the capability of value creation. That's what we educate for.
Thank you very much, Thomas. I think that we were very thorough in the questions during the webinar, so we don't have any more comments, any more doubts. So yeah, I think we should wrap everything up and thank our participants for joining. Remember that you will receive a follow-up email in the following days, so keep an eye out for that. And I hope to see you in Global School very soon, as some of you have mentioned, this year or the next. Thank you also to both Thomas.
Okay, thank you also, Lucien, for hosting us. We enjoyed it. Hopefully the information was something that was attractive to the students, and we try to be as open and honest as possible, because as we are going into a relationship for 4 years, we really want to show you all everything. There's one more last comment I could make, and that there's, I'll put it in the chat also, there's an app called VR Direct. Maybe Thomas, you can type it in while I explain. There's an app, VR Direct, and in that app you have a virtual reality tour of our facilities. It's still under construction, but I'm happy to share it with you, as you have also stood through the entire webinar, so you're probably really interested. There's a VR Direct app, and there is a code that you need to type in, which Thomas just shared. It's still under construction, but if you are interested to see what our facilities are like and to get some more information from our students, this is a virtual reality tour that you can just download on your phone or on your Oculus Go that's also possible. But if you download the VR Direct app and then type in that code, then you will be able to have a virtual tour in our school.
That's amazing. I'll check it out myself too. Thank you everyone again for joining. I know some of you, it was the morning or the afternoon, so we really appreciate your attendance. I hope to see you in the webinar the next webinar very, very soon. And I wish you a good afternoon or good evening wherever you are. Thank you so much. Bye everyone.
Ciao, ciao.
Ciao.